Mhm. Good morning, precious people. Look, it's another fresh day. Here we are together. I'm so thankful for your irreplaceable light and the experience and wisdom you bring into the world. Today is a gift filled with possibility. So let's open it with kindness and curiosity. Just remember, we're all still growing and learning. So grab your nearest drink. Um, I have 2 water bottles, and actually, they're both Hello Kitty. This one I got from Ross. Um, and it was just one of those reusable Path water bottles. I love them. And they come in all, if you go to Path's website, you could actually design your own too. It's pretty cute. I just found this at Ross. I loved it. And then this Hello Kitty one I got from the truck when it came through my state somewhere near me. So grab your nearest drink. And let's check in with ourselves. Why don't you take a deep breath in? Then you just relax as the breath leaves. But as the breath is going out, you're kind of scanning your body. I am sick today, so I'm not going to go to church. I was up all night coughing and have a sore throat, so I don't want to get anyone sick. We do a lot of handshaking and hugging at my church. So, and there is a lot of elderly people. So I'm going to stay home today. We are able to watch church online, which is really nice. So I'll be doing that. All right, I wanted to talk about something a little controversial, maybe. Something that's been in the news for months, maybe a year and a half even. People wanting to see Epstein files. They're just yelling about it, like making it their number one priority, and anyone who they want all of it right now. And these files have been sitting there for 7 years? What would the last 6 years do with them? Like, everyone's up in arms, like beating their chests and tearing their hair out, trying to. The thing is, my vibe, what my feeling is that looking back at the tragedies, the awful stuff, all the victims and the trafficking and just the pedophiles, I personally I want heads to roll. I want arrests. I want everyone who's on the flight list to make a statement about what they did there, and I want it investigated. I want their statements compared with videotapes and logs, and I want prosecutions. I want justice. But at the same time, I feel there is no form of justice that can be had because the crimes were so awful and so prolific, and not even like, okay, the person trafficking the person using that person, that victim, but like, how did that victim get there? All the steps that led up to that person being part of this thing anyway. I want every single person to face justice, but there is no justice. Even if you got arrested, put in jail, fined, whatever, that's not justice. I don't think there's any form of justice that's legal for what I think should happen to those people. So I'm up there with everyone, just hoping for something to happen. But the thing is, I saw a clip online last night of the Department of Justice, their press briefing from, or maybe it's just a briefing, from January 30th, 2026, So that was like 8 days ago, I believe. Yeah. And I hadn't heard much. That's when they dumped all the millions of files or millions of pages of files. And people have been going through them and finding really awful, terrible things. And I haven't myself dug into anything. I don't think me knowing about what happened to those girls or kids, boys even, a Pizzagate and all that other stuff, I don't think me knowing all the details of that betters my life at all. But I know I want justice, and I know there's no such thing as justice in this case. If there was eye for eye justice, maybe if these people had stuff done to them that they did to other people, that could be considered justice. But getting locked up, having a TV and food and a jail cell, and all the money you made off of exploiting other people has been spent on yachts and luxury things. I don't think there's any justice. Justice delayed is justice denied anyway. So anyway, with all that being said, I truly think, and I'm going to use the word psyop, I think it might be the radical left's way of distracting from fixing now problems. And in this briefing, they were talking about this last year, how the FBI has rescued so many children. Operation Restore Justice, which happened in May of 2025, it was a coordinated 5-day nationwide crackdown involving all 55 FBI field offices. They rescued 115 children across the country. 205 sex abuse offenders were arrested on various federal charges, including production and distribution of child sexual abuse material, online incitement, and sex trafficking. Arrests included individuals in positions of public trust, like school leaders, military members, and teachers. So that was one operation, one 5-day operation, and they caught all those offenders and rescued 115 children. That's what's happening now. Yeah, Epstein happened 15 years ago, or how many ever years ago? All that stuff. And those people need to be brought to justice. I don't want to downgrade that or dismiss that fact at all. But if we're so busy looking behind us and freaking out and like the injustice, I can't believe it, we can't see what's happening right now. And there's kids right now today who need to be rescued and helped. So I think spending so much energy and time looking back and being angry and beating our chests about stuff is not serving those kids today. So then in this same press brief, I call it a press briefing, but I think it was just, I don't know if they took questions. I didn't watch the whole thing at the end. But in December, so just a month and a half ago, there was a follow-up operation called Operation Relentless Justice. So in that operation, 133 children were rescued, and even more, 234 offenders were arrested. So the cumulative statistics from last year, the FBI located over 2,700 victims of child exploitation. Sorry. I am so stuffy and sick. I apologize for that. The FBI located over 2,700 victims of child exploitation throughout the year. The Department of Justice found and terminated 3.8 million dark web pedophile accounts. That's a lot, you guys. And that's probably worldwide. I I doubt that's even just the people in the United States. In total, operations in 2025 resulted in nearly 1,000 arrests of criminals who are targeting kids right now. So we want the Department of Justice to drop everything. Drop everything. Don't do anything else. Nothing is important as the Epstein files. We need justice. We can't let these oligarchs or whoever, princes and presidents and heads of companies and leaders of states to get away with this, what they did 15 years ago. But let's focus. Come on. Let's let the Department of Justice have multiple investigations going at the same time. Let's let them work through the Epstein files and bring the charges, make the cases, which nothing has been happening since Jeffrey Epstein died. I mean, we haven't seen anything during the last administration. I didn't hear a peep about anything they were doing. But yeah, I really do feel like they are working on it. I can't get myself all wrapped up. I can't even read the stuff because I don't want that in my head. I don't want that to ruin my life, having that awful heavy weight on me. But I want to support what the Department of Justice is doing today. Multiple operations. They're working hard now to find, like the Department of was it DHS? Or Customs who let all these kids in to strangers? The hundreds of thousands of kids just missing, and a lot of those children have been recovered, found. So let's see. Well, it was funny. While I was trying to find this information on what's happening now in the Department of Justice to help children, it's like my AI that I was asking, I'm like, show me the briefing. And it kept talking about Epstein, and I had to tell it, I don't care about the Epstein stuff. That's not what I want to see. I want statistics on how kids are being helped today with the Department of Justice. So I really think it's a psyop, us getting all wrapped up in what has happened and eroding trust in our Department of Justice, when really they're doing some great work. You guys, kids are being helped all the time. They don't have every single one of their field offices and agents working on the Epstein stuff, even though there's millions of pages of files and I'm sure videos and all sorts of stuff to go through. But you see, they're being as transparent as they can. I'm not saying Department of Justice is without fault or mistake, because they are human. Guess what? There's a whole collection of human, which increases the chances of mistakes. Yeah, my water's empty. No. So let's see what else I had here. Epstein files, the DOJ officials. Excuse me. Oh, this is something that's coming up on Monday, tomorrow. The DOJ officials briefed the media on the release of over 3 million documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. While the department admitted some redaction errors that potentially exposed victims, that's why they were delaying it. They had to go through millions of documents, make sure victims were protected. But obviously some mistakes were made. And I think there were some potential victims that could be harmed by the releasing of these documents everyone's screaming for. The Assistant Attorney General, Patrick Davis, confirmed that Congress will be granted access. Oh, see, I thought it was the general public. It's Congress will be granted access to unredacted versions starting on Monday. So tomorrow, Monday the 9th, 2026, February 9th. So that's my thought. And I had, well, it's funny, I didn't even think about how the Epstein files and stuff is like such a roadblock to people being helped today, until I was asking AI specific information. I want specific information from this briefing about the children who are currently being rescued and saved and the arrests happening. and it kept telling me, oh, Jeffrey Epstein style files, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, stop it. And then I thought, well, maybe that's what everyone's been Googling or searching for or using AI. Like, hey, look in the Epstein files for things that this celebrity did or said, or emails to this person or that person. Maybe in the comments you can tell me a good reason why I should get in there and start looking around. Everything I hear is just tragic. Like, I guess there's a diary of a girl who was used as just like a birthing person. And they would take her baby away as soon as she gave birth, and she'd never see it again. Insane. Like, stuff you would be like, oh, that has to be a conspiracy theory. That can't be real. In real life, people wouldn't do that. Everything I hear, like Jewish people calling non-Jewish people goyim, which I guess is a slur, and saying they're just goyim or what, I don't know how to say it even. So they're like not worth anything, so we can like sexually traffic those people, and that's okay. So I'm like, I don't want to get in there and start poking around. I want as little of that in my heart as possible. I want to help the kids today. And I want justice so bad, but in my mind, I'm like, there's no appropriate justice for what happened. There's no appropriate justice. I want heads to roll. I do. I want people to pay for their crimes. You do the crime, you do the time. But I don't want them just doing time. There's no real justice. Anyway, so I don't mean to be a downer about it, but I'm hoping I can bring a different perspective on the Epstein things where, yeah, be as informed or as involved as you want to about that, but don't criticize the Department of Justice for not putting all their effort and all Pam Bondi's focus, or, Kash Patel, all their focus on this one thing when there are kids right now today being trafficked and hurt and exploited and tortured and hurt. So let's get behind the Department of Justice and be like, yeah, they're doing a good job. They're really out there trying to help as many people as possible find justice for these victims. So that's my thoughts today. It is Sunday. Like I said, I'm sick. I was coughing all night. I don't want to make anyone sick. So watching from home today, which is nice, a nice option. What else? Oh, today's Super Bowl Sunday too. So I hope people don't think I'm laying out of church to watch football, because I couldn't care less about that. I have this quick story to say. Let me drink. I was at Costco, and we're going up to the guy who checks your receipt as you leave. And this was Friday. And I said, hey, so are you excited for tomorrow? And he goes, what's tomorrow? I go, the Super Bowl. He goes, tomorrow's Saturday. I go, oh. He says, who are you rooting for? I go, the Patriots. And the thing is, that's the only person that I knew was playing, and I know they're not very favored, and I thought it'd just be funny. And then he's like, oh, anyway. It ended up being like, he's like, were you trying to think of that the whole way you're walking up to get your receipt checked? He just made fun of me. I was like, that's fine. Anyway, so if anything here sparked a thought, leave a comment below. Subscribe, please. Every single day is a chance to learn and grow and become more of the wonderful person you are. And the world is better with your light in it. Thanks for sharing time with me. I'll be here tomorrow. But until then, I hope you have a beautiful day. You are the Lord's precious ones. Bye.